All right, sir. Can you just briefly describe what Dawn Blitz is and why we're conducting this exercise?
Sure. First and foremost, Dawn Blitz is our premier exercise this year of getting the Navy and Marine Corps team back together, back to our expeditionary roots, so that we're focused not just on amphib operations, but on MPF operations as well. Additionally, we're also bringing in a lot of our coalition partners. We've got the Japanese, we've got the Canadians, and we've got the New Zealanders fully embedded within the exercise. We've also got observers from other countries throughout Latin America and also throughout the Pacific that are here to be part of that coalition team that in building those strong partnerships necessary for us to really understand how to operate together in an environment like this.
Got it, sir. And is this the first time that an exercise of this nature has been conducted?
No, this is the second of the Dawn Blitz exercises. We did Dawn Blitz in 11. The Dawn Blitz 13 also has been a two-part exercise. We did Dawn Blitz 13.1, and during that we brought the MEB staff and the ESG staff together aboard the Peleliu and did a lot of that reinvigorating our expeditionary skills, reinvigorating that teamwork that's necessary to pull off an amphib operation. We stressed the staffs through simulation primarily, but we also used shipboard comms, shipboard workspaces, and got back together again on how to do amphibious operations from a staff standpoint. Here in Dawn Blitz 13.2, we've introduced the MPF operation. You see the live MPF ship there behind me. So that we're actually bringing equipment across the beach and all the muscle work that goes along with that. We'll also be doing some amphibious landings up at Camp Pendleton. And then we'll also be doing those basic military blocking and tackling skills with our coalition partners ashore and exercising our command and control from afloat. All of those complex things that go into making amphibious operations so hard.
Got it, sir. And is this exercise kind of an attempt to reinforce the value and role the Marine Corps has in today's military?
Well, I'd expand that into it's designed to reinforce the role of the Navy and Marine Corps team, and particularly amphib operations, or more importantly, sea-based operations, and the value that they bring to our joint warfighting capabilities in our country.
Got it, sir. And can you give me a recent example of a situation where the Navy and Marine Corps team employed their amphibious capabilities?
Every day the Navy and Marine Corps team is out there forward deployed with our ARGMU teams, and they're able to respond to a series of crises across the board. We've seen them operate off of Libya. We've seen them operate day in and day out throughout the Persian Gulf. We see them every day out in 3MEF in the Western Pacific doing humanitarian type operations, from Tomodachi to other earthquakes and tsunami activity out there, bringing that capability from the sea, that light footprint ashore, to be there when they're necessary, but then using our new capabilities like the MV-22 Osprey coming off of Navy ships to go deep inland, and in the case of Libya, to rescue pilots that were downed in country in a time frame that exceeded anything that anybody thought about.
Sir. And you mentioned the amphibious landings will be happening in Camp Pendleton. What are some other examples of training that will be happening during Dawn Blitz?
Okay, as you said, the amphib landing. We're doing a lot of, today, this week, we have the Australians, the New Zealanders and the Canadians out on ranges today, getting familiarity with our weapons, getting familiarity with our tactics, and we're doing the same with their weapons and their tactics, growing those partnerships on ranges, doing live fire, live maneuver. We're going to do a force-on-force exercise where the Marine Forces Reserve are going to bring a battalion in and go head-to-head, free play, force-on-force exercise against one of the infantry battalions from the 1st Marine Division. So we're integrating our reservists out there. We're also going to conduct a long-range heliborne assault using MV-22s, where we're going to lift a battalion, from the beach out to 29 Palms, and then do some work out there, bringing in some of the skills that we've learned throughout operations in Iraq and Afghanistan but also some heavy kinetic operations that are part of those skills that we're trying to reinvigorate.
Got it, sir. And how has sequestration impacted the planning and execution of this exercise?
Yeah, sequestration's had a little bit of an impact on us. You know, we originally envisioned this with a lot more amphibious ships. Sequestration has caused us to have to focus more on those ships that are getting ready to go out to support those forward deployed MEUs and ARGs. So because of the reduced budget, we've had to focus our attention more on those. So we've gotten less ships than what we wanted, but we've been able to augment that with the MPF, and we've been able to do some other things through simulation, through the use of our coalition partners and their ships, and bring together a great team to minimize those impacts of sequestration.
All right, sir. And how does Dawn Blitz prepare First MEB for crisis response?
Great question. Yeah, this is what First MEB is all about. First MEB is built and designed to be a heavy crisis response force. Dawn Blitz gets us together with all of our major subordinate commands, and an opportunity for me to exercise command and control with my subordinate commanders, so that we're gaining that familiarity throughout our own organization. It's allowing us to work with our Navy partners that are critical in providing that Navy Marine Corps team, that expeditionary team across a spectrum of operations, amphibious, MPF, as well as sustained operations ashore. And it's also allowing the MEB to work with coalition partners who are going to be a part of whatever we do in expeditionary type operations.
Got it, sir. And how will the MV-22 Osprey be utilized during Dawn Blitz?
We're going to utilize the MV-22 as in its standard role of doing assault support for the MAGTF. We're going to be doing that heavy battalion assault from the beach to 29 Palms, built primarily around MV-22s, but also integrating in attack helicopters and the heavy lift that the CH-53s bring. We're also going to demonstrate the capabilities of the MV-22 in a humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operation with the Japanese, where they're going to be able to demonstrate the utility and the interoperability of the MV-22 on Japanese ships to conduct a whole spectrum of operations, not just within the MAGTF, but also with our coalition partners.
Got it, sir. And how are reservists being utilized during Dawn Blitz? And then what are their responsibilities throughout the exercise?
Yeah, we've got MAR-4 Res fully embedded with us throughout this exercise. There are officers on my staff that came to us from MAR-4 Res doing absolutely critical work to make the staff function and to exercise command and control for the whole MAGTF. Additionally, we have a battalion of Marines coming in to do a force-on-force exercise, so we'll have that reserve battalion going force-on-force and head-to-head with that active duty battalion. We've got VMU-4, the reserve UAV squadron that's going to come out and fly in support of this exercise as well. A whole slew of MAR-4 Res, Marine Reserve participation, because we understand that the integration of that reserve component and the active component is critical to the expeditionary capabilities of the Marine Corps today.
How is the dive and counter mine training unique at Camp Pendleton with New Zealand and Canada?
You know, they bring some great capabilities to the table when it comes to doing anti-mine warfare. And as you can imagine, being able to clear a beach of mines, being able to clear our critical boat lanes, as well as some of the deep water demining that has to be done in order to ensure our access to wherever it is we have to go, is critical to amphibious operations, to expeditionary operations as a whole. So the fact that we're able to take U.S. Navy mine warfare capabilities, combine them with our coalition mine warfare capabilities, really brings a strong and powerful anti-mine capability to this exercise.
Why do you feel it's so important to conduct exercises like this with the Marines and then obviously sailors throughout the year, and just why that's important?
Well, first off, let's talk about why is MPF important. You know, it's something that we haven't done in a long time. We haven't done an MPF operation since OIF-2, when we used the MPF to bring ashore our equipment that we ended up using in Iraq and then shifted over to Afghanistan. But throughout the Marine Corps' recent history, MPF has been a critical enabler for a whole host of expeditionary operations. from Desert Shield, Desert Storm to Somalia, where it was the capability that brought the MAGTF into Mogadishu and allowed us to conduct Operation Restore Hope, to the opening of OIF-1 and OIF-2, where MPF became the force that enabled us to rapidly build up Marine combat power ashore and conduct those operations. So coming back out of those land-based operations that we've been doing over the last few years in Iraq and Afghanistan, it's important to get the muscle memory of what it takes to come off of those MPF ships, distribute that equipment throughout the MAGTF, and stand up the combat power that's currently pre-positioned aboard all those ships. Marry them up with the Marines and sailors flying in from either Camp Pendleton or any of the other MEFs that are out there, and provide real combat power, real capability ashore with a minimum amount of lift that's required out there. So an exercise like this gives us that ability to get that muscle memory back of how hard it is to come off of one of those MPF ships, to come across the ocean, to land on a beach and then have to get off the beach and stand up that capability somewhere else. That's the critical thing that we're doing.